What's up, people? Back with another reaction, back with some more Erasure, and we're back with some more Erasure B-side slash bonus material. We're going back to their Chorus album, 1991. Once again, shout out to Han Solo, not only who was sort of there from the beginning of my deep dive on Erasure, but also mentioned in advance of this album that it's one of his favorites, if not the favorite, and ultimately he thought I would be fond of it given my enjoyment of 90s electronic music, and he was absolutely right. But we're going to listen to a remix of Perfect Stranger, and incidentally, it's the KROQ Mellow version. Now, KROQ, it's a radio station in the LA, Southern California area. I grew up hearing it. I won't say that I spent a whole lot of time listening to it, probably more in the 80s as a single-digit kid. By the time you get to the 90s, they started playing alternative rock and other types of, 90s popular music, and by then I was into punk rock and underground hip-hop and eventually techno and trance and hardcore and, types of music that I was no longer going to the radio to hear. But ultimately, it is a very famous radio station in Southern California. It still exists. I think it's gone through different ownership changes, and all the sort of DJs and MCs that would have been back in the 80s are no longer there. But it does still exist. And yeah, in the 80s, it was known for playing, Depeche Mode and Erasure and Duran Duran and the sort of the tunes that defined the soundtrack of my childhood, one of the soundtracks of my childhood. Again, classical music and classic rock and all sorts of things. But nevertheless, we are going to listen to the KROQ Mellow version of Perfect Stranger. Now, Perfect Stranger, I love that track. I really, really enjoy it. I think it's a great and emblematic tune of what this album does well. It's moody. It has great electronic sounds. Andy's singing is fantastic. It has a great progression through the sections, so I'm a big fan of the original. Interested to hear. I imagine it will have a sort of more restrained or perhaps less or a slower percussive rhythm, but I guess we'll find out. This is Perfect Stranger by Erasure, and it's the KROQ Mellow version on the second disc, which is B-sides, remixes, and rarities from the deluxe edition of their Chorus album, originally 1991. Alright, a similar intro. I think it's a little bit different. The configuration of that. Acoustic guitar feel.
Hell, I gave up my time for no good affair. You think I'd learned
Come on, Andy.
to be taken in by perfect stranger that I had to know how. Still more fool me for kidding myself. That's the way it should be. Maybe I should grow up.
Very different feel. I like it though.
Would I feel confined to the same space? Or would I feel that it's locked myself into a corner?
Very folksy.
So long, friend of mine, you're false and unkind, you're indestructible. No place I'd rather be than in the ring with you. We go 20 rounds, still more fool me for kidding myself. That's the way it should be. Well, maybe I should grow up. Would I feel confined to the same space? Or would I feel that it's talked myself into a corner? I see the sky move above me, but I just can't take control. What a sweet sensation. Whoa.
Fading that vocal flare, or echoing it, I mean. Is that it? Interesting. I thought we might get one more iteration, so I guess my comment would be is it feels a little short. I feel like the original version was a bit longer than that. Maybe I'm wrong, but my recollection is that it went a bit beyond what we just heard there. But it's interesting. I enjoyed that a lot. I'll say the studio version still wins it out for me in the sense that, again, the studio version, it's like what I think of when I think of this album, sort of moody, electric atmosphere, Andy's incredible vocals, but a real sort of like synth-heavy sound. That sort of, took the synth and it put it in the acoustic guitar form, and it had a very different flavor. Again, I enjoy that, and I'll listen to that over time, but ultimately I do think I will spend more time listening to the original mix. So let me know if you agree, let me know if you actually prefer that one. But yeah, lots more Erasure coming from multiple angles. Shout out to Vin, shout out to Andy, shout out to Seb, shout out to Han Solo, shout out to all the Erasure people, both those who have enabled this larger journey and also those who are here to comment and share their appreciation for their music. So big ups to all of you, big ups to Erasure. Let me know what you think of this track. I'll see you next time. Peace.